And I am live. All right, everybody. Welcome to the Finance Rebel Show. I'm your host, Kamari Ellis. We are broadcasting live on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and it's even will be replayed on my podcast. So today is Wednesday, Wealthy Wednesday. We do this every week on Wednesday. I said that already, at 8 p.m. So every week on Wednesday at 8 p.m., we do Wealthy Wednesdays. We answer your money questions live. So any questions you may have, go ahead and throw them in the comments, in the chats. If you're on IG, throw them in the little question mark bubble at the bottom of the screen. If you are on YouTube or Facebook, go ahead and throw them in the comments. And listen, if you're listening to the live replay or the replay on the podcast, make sure you just go ahead and hit me up with any questions you might have. You can always submit questions in advance by texting me to 215-974-0058. Again, 215-974-0058. I see some of my Facebook and my IG family are in the building. Size Sexy 47, how are you? Sancora Motors. Am I saying that right? Sancora Motors? Let me know. Mr. PDQ. What's up, brother? We got to catch up, man. I know every time we go live or I go live, you're trying to tap in with me. But we definitely got to connect. And Fab Starlet's here. I see some folks on the YouTubes and the Facebook verse are in here in the building. Jody Austin says, "What up, African?" What's up, African? How are you? Happy Wednesday to you. You do it, Mr. John. How are you, sir? Welcome. And Karan's in the building. What's up, sir? How you doing? Happy Wednesday to you all. And Miss Star, Lily Star. Am I saying, is it Lily or Lila? Which one is it? Correct me. I hate saying names wrong. Y'all probably are tired of me saying that already. I say it all the time because I really mean it. But what's going on? What's everybody up to? What questions do you have today on this great day? What we going to talk about today, y'all? It's a lot of stuff happening. Did anybody see what's going on with Congress? House of Reps signed the bill. Oh, that's not good. I was trying to share out because I really forgot to post this earlier. But I'm trying to share it out now, multitask. But I'm learning about myself. I'm not the best multitasker in the world. But here we are doing what needs to be done. All right. Who has questions? House of Reps signed the bill. Now, if y'all were following me, paying attention to me, I talked about this the other day. They just signed the new stimulus bill, $1.9 trillion with a T, with a big old T. And that's going to President Biden as we speak. So that will more than likely be approved. So we will see what's going to happen. So those $1,400 stimulus checks will probably be arriving pretty soon, right? In this provision, they're also going to give some type of unemployment benefit exclusion on their taxes of about $10,000, $10,200. Don't know how that's going to play out, but I'm sure it will play out at some point. So again, let me just share this out real quick. Bear with me 1 second, folks. Told y'all I'm not a great multitasker. Listen, you would never say that out loud to y'all. Not at all. Not at all. That's not what I wanted. But listen, while we're sharing this out, do me a favor, go ahead and share this with somebody who is looking for a little financial guidance, that needs some help, that needs some education. That's what the Finance Rebel Show is all about. All right, let's see. Let's see what we have here. Let's see. So, all right, I mean, that's big news. That's big news about Congress, about money being sent out. It's definitely going to be something to really get things sparked. I mean, there's a lot of great memes out there floating around. Somebody said, well, all the stimulus package money that's coming out, that $1,400, crab legs are going to be sold out for the rest of 2020. I don't know if y'all got that or if y'all get it, but to me, it's hilarious. So, between, again, stimulus and tax refunds, all the crab shacks around the country will be sold out. Again, let me know if y'all get that or not. I find it hilarious. All right, so listen, I don't want to belabor this. Put your questions in the chat. What questions do you have? What money questions do you have? All right, I see Size Sexy 47 has a question. All right, give me 1 second and I will get to that. Give me 1 second. Un momento. I'm just trying to share this out with a couple of people. Have any of you all been listening to the podcast? If you haven't, you're missing out on some great stuff. All right. Most of these episodes get replayed there. There's some individual or customized or exclusive stuff that I do just for the podcast as well. So be sure to go ahead and check out the podcast. It's the Finance Rebel Show. The podcast is the Finance Rebel Show. You can find it anywhere. All you got to do is Google the Finance Rebel Show. All right, so let's jump into some of these questions real quick. Lamont T.M. Harris, how are you? All right, so Size Sexy 47 says, I sold some stocks recently. When I do, my taxes, will I have to pay capital gains tax for this year? So Size Sexy 47, when did you sell? Did you sell in year 2020 or in year 2021? Because it is March 10th. March 10th. So again, let me read that question again. I sold some stock recently. So recently, I'm thinking in like the last couple of days. When I do my taxes, will I have to pay capital gains tax? All right. And so for everybody that's thinking about capital gains tax and wants to know what capital gains tax is anytime you make a profit on a capital asset. And I know you're probably like, what in the world is a capital asset? What are we talking about? So a capital asset is stock, real estate, business, anything like that. Anytime you have something like that, that's a capital asset. Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, capital assets. All right. You can have capital gains and you can have capital losses. But this question asked about capital gains. So it depends. All right. So a friend of mine, so you sold it last week. So did you make a profit? So capital gains fall into two separate areas, folks. You have long-term capital gains and you have short-term capital gains. I've talked about this a million times. Everybody in here should be able to tell what's about to come out of the sound of my voice next. Hello, son.
Yeah.
Trash collection day?
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much. So we have short-term capital gains and long-term capital gains. Again, if you've been rocking with me for a while, you know that long-term capital gains are any gains that are made after owning your asset for a year or more, 365 days or more, 12 months or more, 52 or more weeks. Any way you size it up, it's 52 or more weeks. It's more than a year. Short-term capital gains is anything less than a year. So, for example, short-term capital gains would be if you bought that stock on January 2nd, 2021, and you said you sold it last week. So let's say you sold it March 2nd, 2021. You sold it. You made a bunch of money. You would own a short-term capital gain. What is a short-term capital gain? What are the tax rates? It depends on what your overall tax rate is. I don't want to give you the boring technical term, but I'll give you the boring technical term. The boring technical term is it will match your marginal tax rate. So all that simply means is you're going to pay the same level of taxes on your capital gain is what you paid on your other taxes. The beautiful thing about capital gains is that they're usually lower than everything else. So tax brackets usually go anywhere from 10% up to 37%, right? So the more money you make, the higher you pay in taxes. Okay. So again, let's say you make $500,000 a year, you'll probably be somewhere north of the 37% tax bracket. If you just sold that stock within the last 2 months, the gain you'll pay on that tax, or the tax you'll pay on that gain, will be roughly 37%. So, okay, so size sexy 47 says she thinks she had it for about 8 months. Yep. So it's a short-term capital gain. So I hope whatever reason you sold that stock was within your overall wealth strategy, and you didn't just sell it just for the sake of selling. All right. Carrie Ann, how are you? Welcome. Irby, what's up, Irby? KD52, my brother from FLC. All right. So size sexy 47 asks, friend of mine got a notice Monday saying she was only getting $600. She thinks it's because she doesn't have kids. There's a whole lot to interpret there. Help me out. Give me some guidance. We talking about a tax refund? We talking about stimulus? What we talking about? All right. So Karan says we want more exclusive content for the pod. Oh man, you gotta work on my schedule, brother. Don Johnson's in the building. What's up, Don? Katisha's here. Jody says she's good. Jose's in the building. What's up, Jose? How you doing? And this is a beautiful name. I want to say is Akira 37. Correct me if I am incorrect in saying your name. I really hate saying names wrong. I'm operating out of my trauma today, y'all, because everybody used to say my name wrong when I was a child. Sometimes intentionally, sometimes for a joke. But I think one of the highest levels of basic human respect you could have for someone is just to say their name right. And I guess it helps that people that didn't look like me used to make fun of my name, like intentionally, like I can't say your name. What kind of name is Kamari? It's funny when I hear people say things like, what kind of name is Tamika? What kind of name is Keisha? What kind of name is Tom? What kind of name is Dick? What kind of name is Abraham? Like, why does what you feel or think have to determine the value of my name? What's up, DST? Or DJ, what is it? DJ Straight Live? I know it's you, Sean, but I was trying to figure out how to say your name. So I'm guessing it's DJ Sean T or ST. But what's up, Sean? But why would you make fun of my name? I mean, listen, there's a running joke in my family. When you get called Richard, if anybody knows what Richard is short for, what it stands for, or the abbreviation for Richard, or the nickname of Richard, that means you did something wrong. Stimulus. So they got 600 for stimulus. So if they got 600 for stimulus, they might have made more money than the lower, or made more than the $75,000 threshold. So Africoy Gladys. I hope I said your name right. I like that though. That's dope. House of Light, how are you? Welcome. All right. So, hi Carrie, how are you? Welcome. All right, I said it right. All right, my job is done. Karan, what kind of exclusive content would you like? Help me out. What you want to hear about on a podcast? Because you're typically here, so sometimes I get caught in this loop where a lot of the content on the podcast are replays of my lives here. But there are times where, I get to do an interview here or there, and I do it live and I share it there, and everybody doesn't get to watch it. For example, I did a live interview last week with Mariqua Reyna. Dope interview. Powerlifter, vegan, business owner. Sister is about it. I didn't have a lot of people show up on Saturday. And it was cool. I enjoyed it. Listen, because when I do these interviews, y'all don't realize this. I'm doing them for me. I'm just sharing them with y'all because I enjoy talking to people and getting to learn from people. And one of the things that I learned throughout my, if you want to call it a radio career, let's say my media career, because I love to interview people. But one of the things I learned is that only interview people that you're interested in or the topic is interesting. Don't just interview people just for the sake of interviewing them, just because they might have a big name. I mean, they could be a world star. I might not interview them just because I might not be interested. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. If you want to do something different, go start your own show. All right. So what other questions do you have? What other questions do you have? House of Light. Thank you. I always love your vibe. All right. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Akira 34 says, question, my Todd saved all his birthday money in random cash over a year. It's not much. He's only 6. Should I invest it in crypto, stocks? And if so, what type of savings account? So it really depends on what your overall goals is for your child. If it's for college, you might, these are not recommendations. I am not on here playing the role of a financial advisor or an investment advisor. All right. But since I've done all those things, I've worked in the industry for over 20 years. I usually know a lot about those things, right? So these are just a couple of recommendations. So you might want to look at a 529 plan. You might want to look at a, how do they say, a UGMA account or UGMA account or a UTMA account. So UGMA is Uniform Gift to Minors Act. UTMA is Uniform Transfer to Minors Act. They are basically accounts set up for your children to save and invest for them. All right. So it just depends on what you want to do. I don't know if you want your child to go to college. I don't know if you want to save for them to have a nice plush home or a nice starter home when they become of age. I don't know if you want to save for them to have, I don't know, money to start a business or buy some rental property or just an overall wealth fund for them in the next coming generations. So those factors matter, and that will depend. But I'm a big proponent of everybody buying their children's stock. Buy some of the things that they like. I'm a big proponent of people talking to their children about money overall, but especially with stock, because I think it can help fuel a whole other conversation about money and financial education. All right. And so there's things like if your child likes McDonald's, I would say buy them some McDonald's. If your child has an iPod or an iPad, or maybe look at some Apple stock. Again, these are not investment recommendations. If they like Nike sneakers, maybe look at that. Roblox just went live today. I didn't look at it. I just saw that they IPO today. IPO's initial public offering. This is not an endorsement. Y'all know I am not a fan of initial public offerings in the first, let's say, month, right? Definitely not on the first day. And that's just because of the way that it goes, and the way that a lot of people kind of get duped out of their money during those times. So, those are some of the things you can look at. Okay, so you went to a last land and property. You can buy real estate in the stock market, right? They're called Reits, real estate investment trust. So if you are on the vibe of doing that, then you can do that. I mean, there's some good ones out there. You have to be careful though. There's a whole big quote unquote movement to REITs because they pay dividends, but all REITs are not equal. Some of them are trash REITs. So just be careful. All right. I want to go back to what Jody said. All right. Jody asked me, what are those options? 529 plan is basically a savings account. You can put the money in, it'll grow tax-free. You can pull it out tax-free if you are spending it for college. And there are now, with the new tax law changes, you can spend it on private school as well. Before you could not do that. UGMA account, again, Uniform Gift to Minors, UTMA, They're basically the same. I don't know what the difference is. I would probably need to ask Courtney, Courtney, the tax attorney, Courtney, the Ivy investor, who we are working on a project together called Unlocking the Tax Code. So if anybody is interested in that, again, Unlocking the Tax Code for Black entrepreneurs. So we're helping Black entrepreneurs learn how to leverage the tax code so they can save some money and reduce the stress in their overall life. But I have to ask Courtney that. I have to ask her that one. Let's see. Courtney's here. Courtney, are you here? Courtney's on the IG feed. Kelly's here. Hey, Kelly. Kelly, did you get your email back? All right, so Kelly said definitely an IRA if you're in PA. Yes, you can invest. All right, so I guess that's another caveat that I left out. All right, so going to 529s. 529s are governed by states. So each state has their own 529. So PA has their own. Back when I was an FA or financial advisor, we used to have like our favorite plans to use. Virginia was one of them, and there's another state somewhere out west. I can't think of the other one that a lot of people like. So different plans have different investment options, different ways. Like PA's plan has like a way to pay for discounted or prepay discounted college tuition. So it's just really figuring out what you want to do for your child, though. But thank you, Jody. I know sometimes I'm in the heat of the moment. Y'all give me a question. I'm trying to answer it. I'm trying to answer it thoroughly. And I want to make sure I cover all the bases. But sometimes I miss it. By the way, somebody told me I take too long getting to my point and I talk too much and I talk too slow. Somebody that's on with us tonight. So I just figured I would bring that up. Joe Brown. By the way, question for everybody. Do y'all feel I take too long to get to the point? Do I talk too slow? Do you find it hard to understand me? Do I bore you to death? Does the low sound and the low resonation of my voice put you to sleep? Y'all let me know the answer to that. All right. So Joe Brown's here. Eric Sr., 1979. How are you? Greg Thorne, how are you, sir? How are you? Do you know any Reits that rent to Walmart? I don't. I bet you might be able to find that, though. You might be able to find that if you just Google Reits that rent to Walmart. All right, so question is, so if my granddaughter lives in a different state, where should I get the 529? You can get it wherever you want, whatever state. Residence doesn't matter. But you will have to abide by that state's plan. K Landers 251, how are you? Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday to everybody. Mahogany Miss, how are you? Scorpio Gang 1. What's up, cousin? How you doing? All right, so I'm getting the response back. So again, the question of the night. Do I talk too slow, y'all? Should I talk slower? Should I talk like the guy in Ferris Bueller? Like Bueller? Or do I talk fast enough when I normally talk? Is my speech adequate? Can you hear me? Can you understand me clearly? Is the pitch of my voice too low? Like I'm the Quiet Storm, like I'm Tony Brown. By the way, rest in peace to Tony Brown. If anybody is familiar with the Quiet Storm, the original DJ was Tony Brown. He just recently passed away. So definitely rest in peace to Tony Brown. But is it boring you all? Or are you here for the knowledge and you don't care about the sound of my voice? You're here for the education. I try to make it educational. I try not to make it too boring. But, y'all tell me what you think. Tell me what you think. All right. No, it gives me time. All right. So, Akira, that could be a little shade right there. So it says, no, it gives me time to take notes. So does that mean I talk too slow? Or I'm talking slow enough so you can take notes? All right. So Jody says, no, you don't, in my honest opinion. But Jody, you're biased. You've known me since I'm like 5. All right. She says, nah, you're the voice. All right, so Lita Star says, can you explain Reits, Real Estate Investment Trust? I sure can. All right, so Kara34 says she is here for the knowledge. All right, so Jose says, don't care, here for the knowledge. Don Johnson just laughs. All right, so you know what's funny here? Here's another thing I'll give to y'all, right? So clearly I have a low voice, right? That doesn't, I'm not shocked by that. Y'all should hear some of the elderly sisters in the community, some of the things that they say to me are a little salacious, are a little erotic and exotic at times. Stuff you wouldn't hear or you wouldn't think you would hear from a 60-plus-year-old lady. But they say some pretty interesting things to me from time to time. But there was one lady who checks in with me pretty often and checks in here for the knowledge. They say they sent my video to one of their male cousins, and the cousin responded back to her. He says, I can't listen to dude. He only should be talking to women. I'm a man. I don't feel right listening to this deep voiced man talk to me like that. So what can I say, folks? What can I say? I got a chuckle out of that one. I definitely got a chuckle out of that. All right. Anybody have questions? Go ahead and fill them in the chat. We're definitely going to talk about it. We got a couple here in advance already. Hopefully for the fellas, I won't make you feel inadequate as a man. I'm not here to challenge your manhood. All right. So can you explain these REITs? So again, real estate investment trust. What is a REIT? Again, a real estate investment trust. All right. So REITs are real estate companies. Now, you got to be careful with REITs. Kind of going to give you the disclaimer up front. There are some privately owned prison stocks that masquerade themselves as REITs because they qualify to be considered as such under the tax code. So you get this REIT designation. You get to pay a lower amount on taxes because you pay out a high level of dividends. So I believe it's either 80 or 90%. If you pay out 80 or 90%, you have a large ownership of real estate and your overall assets. You get to write off a lot of your dividends. You get to write off a lot of your taxes. So that's one of the benefits to being a REIT. All right. And so all you got to do is just go Google REITs. You'll find a whole slew of them. Leela Star, what area are you from? Where are you from in the country? I don't want to assume you're from Philadelphia, but a lot of your malls are owned by REITs. There's a lot of strip malls that are owned by REITs. Here in the Philadelphia area, we have the mall called King of Prussia. All right, so you're familiar with King of Prussia. King of Prussia is the largest mall in the country. And I know somebody's going to say, no, it's not. It's the Mall of America in Minneapolis. Well, that's an argument that's been going on back and forth for a while. But supposedly, because I've never been to Mall of America, Minnesota, King of Prussia has more square footage. But supposedly Mall of America is like massive. But at any rate, King of Prussia is owned by a REIT. It's owned by Simon. It's owned by the Simon Property Group, which is a REIT. And so again, this is not a recommendation to buy or sell a company. Just having a conversation. All my stuff here, all my lives, all my videos, all my recordings, all my posts are here for entertainment and educational purposes only. Only. All right, so I want to pull up the screen real quick and we can talk about SPG, which is Simon Property Group, just using it as an example. Again, not a recommendation to buy or sell. Now, somebody let me know if I'm talking too slow, though. Y'all let me know. Because I don't want to bore anybody to sleep. All right, so I'm going to put this up here. Oh, I already had it up. Oops. So Simon Property Group, SPG. Put it up. And I think did I see a question about Roblox? All right, so Simon Property Group is $114.31. Again, this is not a recommendation. It's a $37 billion company. 37 with a B, y'all. All right, and it pays a dividend. So for every share that is outstanding, that is out there trading, it pays $5.20. The rate or the dividend yield is 4.68%. So the rate of return you are getting, well, I shouldn't say rate of return. The dividend yield that you'll get investing into Assignment Property Group is automatic 4.68%. Automatic. So sometimes if the price of the stock goes up, that dividend yield will go down. If the stock of the price goes down, that dividend yield will go up because it's all fixated upon that 5.20. So if you take 5.20 and you divide it into 114.31, that will tell you what the dividend yield is. That's the math behind it. So it will change, but that's how much you're going to get. So right now you put in $114. You buy one share. So let me be correct and accurate. You put in $114.31. That's what the stock closed at today. You get that one share of stock. It's automatically going to pay you $5.20 for the year. And then that will be broken down into quarters. Hopefully y'all get that. No, Mall of America. No, Don. No, Mall of America. According to the specs, Mall of America is not 2 times the size of King of Prussia. We can pull up the stats for that one, sir. Now, again, I've never been there. I'm just looking. I'm sight unseen. Just looking at the raw data. That's it. All right. Now, let's go a little bit deeper into Assignment Property Group. Right. Now, I tell all of y'all, I say the same thing to y'all all the time, right? Want to know about a company? First thing you should do, just go to finance.yahoo.com. All right. Headquartered in Indianapolis. Assignment Property is a real estate investment trust engaged in the ownership of premier shopping, dining, entertainment, and mixed-use destinations, and an S&P 100 company. So S&P 100 company just means it's one of the 100 largest companies in America. Our properties across North America, Europe, and Asia provide community gathering places for millions of people every day and generate billions in annual sales. All right, folks. So they're a pretty big deal, right? I told you they were a $37 billion company. Now, I always say, look at the profile, look at the financials, every stock. So last year, Assignment Properties did about 4.6 billion. I have to enunciate my words. All right. And they had a profit of, that's not the number I wanted, but I'll go with this one. They had a profit of roughly 3.22 billion. Oh, there it is. I'm sorry. Net income. So they had a profit of roughly 2.1 billion. Excuse me, folks. 2.1 billion. So they made money last year in 2020 during COVID, during the pandemic. So when I tell you they have properties like King of Prussia, that tells you the kind of caliber they have. I'm sure not all of the malls are the same like that, but that one's a big deal. All right, so let's get back to some of these questions. All right, so I think it's unanimous, right? Nobody cares about my voice. Nobody feels that I'm talking too slow. And it's funny, right, when a person said that I have an uncle, probably my favorite uncle. I spent the most time with this uncle, my Uncle Morgan. Everybody said he talked slow, but he was a very charismatic dude. I always wanted to argue with everybody, too. Voice is raspy. You understand, though. Okay. All right, cool. All right, don't talk slower. All right, Karen. I sound like Barry White. Okay. He said, I don't care. I appreciate the free .99 gang knowledge. All right, cool. Sounds like my auntie. Yeah, you know what? I do have a family of slow talkers, though. Oh, man. Below the radar, what's up? I didn't know. I think I invested in SPG. Okay. Invest in you. How are you? And Tiger Eye Investments, how are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome over there on IG. All right, so I think I skipped a couple. Oh, so Karan, you want me to go deeper on stocks, huh? More interviews. Yeah, I love the interviews. Okay. I got a project I'm working on that might satisfy that for you, but I'll do that. What do you think of Roblox? I'll be honest, Don, I haven't had time to look at it. I know Courtney's planning on doing a piece. If she drops a piece, I will be sure to share it in the Finance Rebel Academy. If you are not a member of the Finance Rebel Academy on Facebook, you're missing out. So make sure y'all join in. Just search for Finance Rebel Academy on Facebook. All right. So, but Karan, you got me thinking. Anybody else have any requests of some exclusive podcast only content that I produce? And I mean, a lot of it's the same stuff you watch here, but it's for if you are running around, walking around, working out, and you want something to listen to, you could always tune into the podcast on Apple, on Stitcher, on Spotify, on any of the platforms. All right. So Jody says I sound like Barry White. All right. I'm a big fan of Barry White, by the way. All right. Jody says, clutching my pearl, those little old ladies. Yeah. I think they're trying to live vicariously through my voice, but I'm not going to do that. Okay. Your voice forces one to listen and take heed. I got to tell that to some of my clients. Can you tell that some of my clients? So Karan, you're saying Walmart, Reits, DDR, and Kimco. So you're saying Walmart has properties at these Reits, DDR, and Kimco? Okay. Thank you for that. I know that was a question. All right. So here's a question. What's the best investment platform? Trading companies, you, Schwab, E-Trade, T. Rowe Price, Fidelity for Reits. That's like saying who's the best MC, Big E, Jay-Z, or Nas. They're all great. They're all fine. I like them all. I have an account with TD Ameritrade. I use Robinhood. Actually, I'm moving away from Robinhood. I'm going to public. I even have some investments over a Cash App. But it depends on what you're trying to do. Like Schwab is a great platform for trading. I mean, not trading, for retirement, for those who want to be actively engaged in their retirement investing. TD Ameritrade has a very robust platform for traders. So a lot of people like it, especially the Thinkorswim aspect of it. E-Trade, a lot of people like E-Trade. I haven't seen anything with T. Rowe Price. Fidelity is a major mutual fund, but they also have a major brokerage account as well, or brokerage facility where you can actually go and buy and sell stocks for yourself. So they're all good. I would say pick one and just stick with that one for a while. All right, so I covered that. All right, so Don Johnson is now challenging, right? I don't like no challenges around this spot. How large is King of Pressure? I'm gonna Google this. So how many? So So I'm trying to find it. So they got 2.7 million square feet of retail. But I think when they do that, right, they include both. They do the retail because the retail is just where the stores are, and where anything's being sold. But I'm not sure if they are also including all the other space that might not be used. So, okay, Don's saying it's third. What do I think about Stag? Do I know Stag? Stag, one of those SPACs. I feel like Stag's one of those SPACs. Looking up Stag right now. Give me 1 second. I'll put it up on the screen. So Stag is $32.78. Oh, it's a real estate investment trust. Okay. I don't know that I've heard of Stag before. Headquartered in Boston, developed an investment strategy that helps investors find a powerful balance of income plus growth. All right, let's take a look at it. It's a $5 billion company. Stock price is $32.78. Pays a 4.42% dividend yield. All right, so for every stock that is out on the market, it pays a 1.45. It pays $1.45 for each stock that is in circulation for it or that is outstanding. Interesting. I'll have to look this up. Somebody take notes for me. Roughly did 480 million in 2020. So I would need to see where they're concentrated at, what their specialty is. Because there's different asset classes in REITs. So you have retail, you have residential, you have commercial, you have industrial, you have wholesale, you have timber, you have hospitality. Those are all different sectors inside of real estate investment trust. Definitely profitable. I'm going to make a note of that because I've been looking for some boring investments. I know everybody's excited about tech, about the new fancy stuff, but I like the stuff that's built for the long haul. And typically the sexy, it kind of fades away. All right, I can't find it fast enough. So, Don, I'm going to concede to you. Don't tell anybody I said I'm conceding. I don't lose easily, folks. But Don rocks for me just about every time. And I haven't seen Don say one crazy thing yet. Some of y'all though. KOP versus Mall of America. All right, so the reason KOP, King of Prussia Mall, was able to lay claim to the largest title was because of its square footage. The total leasable square footage of King of Prussia is 2.7 square foot, which was 13,958 more square feet than the second mall, which is Mall of America in Bloomington, Minnesota. But I'll have to go. And do a deep dive. I can't stay on all night with y'all debating malls. I was so glad when SPG dropped so I could get in on sale. All right. So my man's out there shopping. All right. So Lindsay McMoney's out there below the radar. Let's see. Elevate and Vibrate. Ooh, I like that name. Elevate and Vibrate. Success J, Fuller Pocket. Juniors Washington Detail. That's my son. That's my namesake. That's my boy. Kamari Jr. Kiana Beasley, how are you? And Dre's Water Ice. What's up, Dre? I still got to get some water ice from you, man. I think you said you're in stores or you deliver, but we got to coordinate something. All right, so let's get through some more of these questions. All right, so Lila Star says also, how do you support Black-owned businesses by stocks? You don't. Are there any resources for Black-owned businesses investing in investors? Thank you. Now, everybody knows, if you've been paying attention to me, I love me a Black-owned business. What I love even more is a great run Black-owned business. And sadly, there's not any great Black-owned businesses that are on the stock market that are publicly traded that I could emphatically speak to right now. Now we have seen, well, Carver might be the exception to that. But we've seen companies like Urban One jump on this wave of let's help a black owned business. I get it. I do. I really do. But there's so many other factors when you are a publicly traded company. I hate to say this, but it might not be black owned. Right? And how are we going to define black owned? I would say 51% of ownership is by a black person. I don't know that every public company has that percentage of ownership that high. Right. And then there's some other interesting structural problems that are facing many of our black owned businesses that are publicly traded. So please don't think I am taking pop shots at them just because they're black owned. No, because they will be one of the first ones I want to buy. Sadly, though, when we are investing, we must also be good stewards of our money. You know what? I was talking about this the other day, right? And just give me like 30 seconds, right? Because, going back to the person that said I take too long to get to the point. Sometimes I take too long to get to the point because I be having so many thoughts when I'm up here, when y'all just throw questions at me and I'm answering them live. So I'm just giving y'all all of me, if that's okay. But like my thought is that it's not enough just to ask for support for your business just because you're black. Right, that only goes but so far. And listen, like I said, I love a great black-owned business. Right, black-owned businesses employ more black people than anybody else in the country, except for the federal government. That's one of the main reasons why we should support black-owned businesses. Right, but you also have to have a good product or a good service. Right, just because you're black doesn't mean that it's okay to have substandard service. And I'm not saying that black is synonymous with substandard or cheap, but a lot of people do. But going into that, right, talking about black-owned businesses, Our Black Year by Maggie Anderson. I suggest everybody to read this. I've interviewed Maggie a couple times. Y'all have heard me talk about this book before, over and over and over again. It's a must read. It chronicles a woman's struggle to buy black for 1 year and how hard it was. So again, I am for black-owned businesses through and through. But again, there's another component. There's another aspect. We still must always be good stewards of our funds, because it's not just our money, right? If we get out of this mindset of being this rugged individualism, like Americanism really sucks for black folks, and many times we brought into it wholeheartedly. But this idea of rugged individualism, that it's only about me, it's not just about you. It's about you and your children's children as well, if we're talking about generational wealth, right? That's why, my mentor taught me that when your children turn 18, you just don't kick them out and you just automatically don't stop being a parent. Your job as a parent is lifelong. And I'm going somewhere, y'all, so just stick with me. And so it's lifelong. So you are to be a good steward of your children, all of their lives, right? So the same way it should be with your money. It's not just your money, it's your children's money. Now, I don't know if that's too deep for y'all. I know I get a little woo for some of y'all sometimes. But if we're really serious about talking about generational wealth, we can't just think of every dollar that we get as our dollar, my, me, I, my. If we're really working towards generational wealth, we have to be good stewards of the monies that we come into possession, that we have to utilize. And so that means that just because a business is black does not mean that you automatically get my dollar. You get preference. You're supposed to get the first preference for my dollar. And you get to earn and compete for my dollar at a higher preference rate than anybody else. That's the way it should be. That's not the way it is. Sadly, many of us still feel the white man's ice is colder. Hopefully that's changing now. I'm hoping, praying, meditating on it. All right. So, that's why I can't really get with a lot of the publicly traded black-owned companies. But again, it's nuanced, y'all. It's very, very nuanced. All right, so here we go. I think I missed a couple of y'all, so got that. All right, DDR. So Layla, I hope that helps you. I hope that helps you. All right, so yeah, Doing Ma says DDR. By the way, hello, Doing Ma. I don't think I spoke to you. So yeah, DDR for Walmart. That's why I sold some of my stock last week, trying to get away from Robinhood without paying the $80 transfer fee. Come on over to Public with me. You can use my link. You'll get a free stock. I'll get a free stock. Mutually beneficial. Like that's the goal. We supposed to be looking for mutually beneficial relationships, y'all. All right. So Jose says, can you do a show on how to determine what diversification allocation one should make based on the desired rate of return? Ooh, Jose. Ooh, ooh, ooh. So Jose wants me to do a class or a show. I do think it uses classes, y'all. On allocation, asset allocation. Your asset allocation usually will determine 91% of your return on investment. What's asset allocation? What is the mix of your stocks, your bonds, your commodities, your currencies? What's the mix of the international stocks you might invest in? What's the mix of large cap, mid cap, small cap stocks that you are invested in? So, all right, Jose. Now, Jose, do you want that as exclusive, or you want it here on a live? So wait a minute. I got to go out to the brother Karan who put the first suggestion in. So I guess y'all not happy with what I'm putting down. All right. So Karan says deeper dive on stocks. And Karan also says more interviews. I got some more interviews coming. But hopefully all of you watched the one with Raina. And that will be dropping on a podcast this coming Monday. Hey, Tiffany. I don't think I spoke to you either. How you doing? My apologies. Don't charge it to my head, not my heart. I don't think I saw you. All right. Where's Jose at? All right. So Jose wants asset allocation. So give me a second, y'all. I'm writing these down. While we're at it, we got a couple more minutes left. Make sure to put your questions in. Make sure that y'all sharing this out with somebody. Asset allocation. All right. So of these ideas, y'all tell me which ones y'all interested in. Mr. Mosteps, how are you? Connections Consulting 215, how are you? Okay, Landers 215 likes what I said. She gave me claps and gave me the Black Power Fist. Right on, sister. All right, so there. All right, so Jose gave me. All right, so that's one on. Okay, top 5. All right, let's look at that real quick. Top 5. Let me see if I can find it. I can't click on that link though. Top 5 key black stocks companies. There we go. All right. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Who wants to talk about the top 5 black stocks on the market? Hope they're not. I hope I am pleasantly surprised. And I hope y'all not missing the nuance in what I'm talking about. You know what? Put a 1 in the chat if you understand what I'm talking about. If you understand the nuance in which I'm talking about. Because I feel like sometimes some stuff gets missed in translation. Maybe I'm going too fast. Maybe my mind's moving too fast. All right, so top 5 key black publicly traded companies in the world. All right, this isn't just the United States, so this is going to be interesting. All right, so Light Media. I don't know that I'm familiar with Light Media. Ticker symbol LGMH. Light Media. Broadway Financial. Those are the banks. Okay, that's another one. And I think they just did a merger. Broadway Financial. Carver. Remember I brought up Carver. Now, I don't know if y'all can see this. Carver Bank is number 3. All right, number 4 is American Shared Hospitality Services. And number 5 is Urban One. All right, Jose, I think you done threw a monkey wrench in the show tonight. I might have to stay on a little bit longer. So let's look at this. Looky here. All right, so did anybody say they wanted to talk about this? All right, during my study, had some money in stag. Okay. All right, so somebody said that I am communicating this clearly. Good. What are y'all talking about with Anthony O'Neill? What we talking about? You know what's so funny? Okay. All right. Hold that thought down. We're going to come to that. I just had a conversation about that yesterday. Somebody was sharing some of that with me about that whole thing of names that will not be said. I'm having a real problem with people who I feel are not on the right side of Black history. So I don't like saying their names. I don't want to give them any publicity. All right, so this is American Shared Hospital Services. So making the best healthcare technology accessible. ASHS. Radiosurgery. Proton beam radiation therapy. Okay. This looks interesting. I might have to do a deep dive on these. Thank you for this, Jose. Thank you. All right, so let's look at this. Now I want to go into one by one, but you know what? I'm not going to do that because it's 9:00. This is what I promise I'm going to do. I'm gonna break down each one of these companies. Like Karan asked me to do, he wanted me to do a deep dive. So I will do a deep dive on each one of those, and I will put it out exclusively on the podcast. How about that? And then maybe I'll come back later in reviews and release the video. But how about that? All right. All right, what else we got here? So thank you for that, Jose. All right, so during my set, she made a little money with that. Cool. 8x10. What's up? That's my homegirl right there. So I guess I've said I had to call you by your nickname now. So that's my homegirl Duchess. Latoya, what's up, my tax sister? That's Latoya there. She be helping me out, keeping me a little thing in my bookkeeping, y'all. I almost went crazy the other day. All right, so Chris Hogan got fired. I didn't know that. Now, the word I got was that people were Jay Nice's World. How are you? Welcome. The word I got was that people were giving, I don't want to say his name, the dude Chris Hogan worked for, pushback because he felt that he was showing favoritism to Chris Hogan because Chris Hogan is like this guy's token Black guy. Now, Chris Hogan's got a great book. I like his book. It's like the modernized or the current era, the 2021 or the 2020 remix of The Millionaire Next Door. When I listen to his book, I feel like I'm listening to The Millionaire Next Door, just modernized. So I like Chris Hogan, right? He's got a deep voice like me. But the guy he worked with is a little suspect because that guy said he was a fan of Rush Limbaugh. Like he said he loved Rush Limbaugh. Puzzling, but okay. But if you love a racist, y'all know the rest. But yeah, I think that's crazy. But I think Chris will probably land on his feet. I think Chris has a big enough platform that he can do whatever he wants on his own. He doesn't have to be reliant on the plantation any longer. He can go do his own thing. And I'll be honest, I don't really have commentary on his marital affairs because I don't know what his business is. I'm not his friend. I'm not his person. Like people put stuff in the public eye, but you never know all the nuance, right? I just talked about nuance. You don't know all the context. So I don't want to be irresponsible talking about some man's life that I absolutely have no clue about. I'm a mind my business. That's what I'm gonna do. All right. So I just talked about Latoya. I didn't study it. I didn't look at it. Again, I am not a fan of IPOs. I've talked about that ad nauseum. I've laid out why I'm not a fan of IPOs. Buying IPOs on the first day, right? Avoid them because most retail investors get raped with no Vaseline. All right. Not to be too graphic, but they typically get raped. And that's statistical information. You can go back and you can look at it. Wait, if you really like the company, wait. If it's a great company, it'll still be great after a week, after a month, sometimes even after a year. If anybody remembers Facebook's IPO was a tragedy. A lot of people got murdered that day. A lot of money died that day. Or rather, it didn't die. It transferred into the hands of some other brokerages and some other folks, right? So Leila says, well, we need to get our black brain power up. Yeah, I believe in that. I believe in that. Yeah, and so supposedly the guy he works for has this ethics clause that people can be fired. And so, because he's like really evangelical Christian, something like that. Again, I don't know. I'll be honest with y'all, right? The reason why I'm going to share with y'all part of what I'm thinking, I'm about to do a video about some people. I'm tired of us talking about white folks. I'm tired of us talking about white folks who really don't give a damn about our community. I'm tired of us talking about white folks who are basically culture vultures and continuously do the same thing over and over again. They did it with jazz, they did it with blues, they did it with hip hop, they did it with rock and roll. But our folks, us black folks, give these people praise, high praise. There's one real estate dude who loves to throw around an N-word and we embrace him. I don't get it. I don't get it, people. But enough on that. I'm going to save the rest. Look out for the video when it comes out. It's coming soon. Maybe I like Anthony O'Neill stuff. I like Anthony O'Neill stuff, but I don't know. Yeah, stewardship is key. Stewardship is actually one of my favorite words. Latoya, I'm not sure what context you said that. I don't know if I said that or what, but stewardship is key in everything that we do. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Who knows? Killer Mike did what? On Black Business. The Killer Mike documentary on Netflix was dope. I loved it. I can't think of the name of it all the time in my head, but go on Netflix, look up Killer Mike, and it's dope. It's challenging ideas. And some people didn't like it because it's challenging ideas and he felt he went too far. But sometimes you got to go a little far to push things forward. All right. So Jose said you hit the nail on the head. That Stewart. Oh, okay. Yes. I lost place what I was even talking about, y'all. All right. Yes. Lineage, stewardship of your lineage. Yes. Is where investing intelligently comes into play. Absolutely. Diana, I was talking about Chris Hogan. Chris Hogan. He's a personality. I've been compared to Chris Hogan. Chris Hogan's platform is way bigger than mine. Way bigger than mine. This man is like a best-selling author. New York Times, I think. Wall Street Journal as well. He's a part of that. I'm not saying his name. I'm trying not to say people's names who really don't care about our folks. I feel like we give them too much energy. But he worked on a pretty popular platform that people love. So Oh, doing you're sexy size 47, but I switched. Okay. All right. Well, I like y'all watching on multiple platforms. Listen, y'all know I am fighting the man. The algorithms are raging against me. So do me a favor, like this, share it with 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7, 8, 9, 10 friends. Only those who are interested in elevating their finances, though. Don't just spam people. I don't like spamming people. All right. So Tiffany says, you good. I'm listening, getting kids for tomorrow. I guess you're saying getting kids ready for tomorrow. Okay. Okay. Jose said, I watched Raina and it was a dope interview. She made me skinny self feel like I better get physically disciplined. Yeah, there's something to that discipline thing. Raina's interview was a great interview. I fanboyed out a little bit because we've been kind of IG homies for a minute, and talking and passing, but we never really had a real conversation. And even what was even dope was that a couple of people actually signed up with her and Najee's service because her boyfriend or her partner came on with her part of the interview, and they talked about how they're building their business and how they're doing it. So we got a trifecta there. We got Black love, Black business, and Black health all in one, right? That's wealth. Black health, Black love, Black business. Gotta love it. Raina was dope. All right, so Jose puts in a 1. He says he gets it. Cool. Don Johnson was a longer-term investor in Broadwickham. Oh, you were? Okay. All right, I appreciate that. Absolutely. Yeah, I think he did get the axe. That's what it looks like. But he's cool, right? I feel like with a give me that platform. I'm set forever because it won't be a bunch of fake people, right? I'm not doing this for the likes, right? So I would assume that these are people that I have real relationships with. Hopefully, I don't know how. I'll be honest. I don't know how realistic that is because I do think celebrity culture is a part of everything we do. I hate it, but I get it all at the same time. But some people just follow because they're a big name, but actually all they do is dish out is horse poo. But they're a big name. So Shaw 89, how are you? Marie A. Bussy, how are you? Bean Tamika, how are you? So yeah, I mean, a lot of people like the big names. A lot of people like the celebrities. Kai Bellion, how are you? But the substance of that celebrity a lot of times falls by the wayside. They are not thinking about stewardship in any way, shape, form, or fashion. All right. So 1 or 2 more questions before I run. Y'all knows I got to get my vittles. So we are running on a little over an hour. Wow, that's interesting. There's I might do, you know what? There's a couple other articles that I've read going back to Karan and Jose's point, speaking about tax, speaking about stocks, that I might just do as independent or totally exclusive podcast sessions and episodes. And it'll just be me alone, my thoughts. I won't be able to interact with all of you, which I actually enjoy. Here's a secret, y'all. I actually have a hard time doing standalone pre-recorded videos. Why? The perfectionist nature of me messes it all up. So it will take me 50 hours to do a 5-minute video because of all the retakes and all the editing I'll do on the back end because I'm trying to make it perfect. But here, if I misspeak a word or if I say it, I just correct myself if I catch myself, and then I keep it moving. It's caught on camera. I just do it. So it is what it is. But I would really be interested to hear what other subjects you guys and gals would like to hear me talk about, whether it be on the show, exclusively on the podcast, whatever it may be. So again, for everybody who's just joining, you're watching the Finance Rebel Show. This is our Wealthy Wednesday segment. We do this every Wednesday at 8 p.m. ish, not 8 p.m. sharp, 8 p.m. ish. So, again, This session is for answering all your questions. I answer them here live. But the Finance Rebel Show is also a podcast. You can find it on Spotify, on Stitcher, on the Apple networks, on Google. Be sure to go over there, listen. Make sure you download it. Make sure you leave a rating and review. I'm mad at y'all. I only have 12 reviews on the Apple platform. Now, for the record, Apple is still kind of the center of the universe. Spotify is quickly coming in and taking over that space. But do me a favor, y'all. It's a big favor. Go in, listen to it. Give me a rating and review, an honest rating and review. If it's fire, give it a 5. If it's not, tell me why. Tell me why you think it's not fire. I want to make the show the best shows possible. Best show on earth. All right. So, again, if anybody has any suggestions for show topics, again, public, exclusive, do me a favor. Send them to me. Text them to me at 215-974-0058. Because for me, y'all, it's more than just being on camera. This is a whole mission for me. It's like a whole calling. Some people say, Kamari, this is a calling for you. You've been doing this for a long time. All right. So again, text them to me, 215-974-0058. All right. So a few more comments before we get out of here. All right. Over there on the YouTube gang, Facebook gang. So Doima says, have you read the little book of so it's the little book of common sense investing? I've read it years ago. I had a question about it earlier. What's the question? Well, if you find the question, text it to me at 215-974-0058. My Twitter account, my Twitter account is the Finance Rebel. So I'm on Twitter. I'm on Twitter. My biggest platform right now is probably Instagram, though, to be honest. So it's funny. I probably have the most followers, followers. I hate that term. But I have the most connections on Instagram. I probably get the most views off of Facebook, though. Oddly enough, it is what it is. And YouTube is starting to catch up a little bit. No, I know what you meant. Now, doing mine, I went and looked. I did a whole review for you, video review. My podcast is in Podcast Addicts. It's there. All you got to do is type in the Finance Rebel Show. I'm on all platforms. You everywhere. I'm everywhere. I'm everywhere, folks. Finance Rebel Show. Let me see. I'm pulling it up real quick. Podcast Addicts. I know I'm there. I know I saw it. I don't see it. But it's funny. It's funny. I Googled that, and what comes up? My Facebook post actually addressed to you doing mine. Let's see if I can get it to come up here. All right. So hold on tight, y'all. This is hilarious. So this post was October 29th, 2020. So that's almost 6 months ago. Look at this. Doing my asked me if my show is listed in the Podcast Addicts directory. I look it up and it's already there. Won't she do it? So if you have an Android phone, take a listen to the show, Podcast Addicts. And there's the link right there. And I will put the link. I will put the Podcast Addicts. There we go. There it is. I'm going to put that link. I'm going to put that link right here in the chat. All right, like the voice, tone, speed are digestible. Okay, so that's going back to the question earlier. Is my tone, speech, and diction fast or slow enough? All right, so we there. All right, so Todd Black. How are you, Todd Black? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Should I open a Roth or brokerage account? Well, you're kind of mixing the two. So brokerage accounts are, so you can have a personal brokerage account and you can have a tax advantaged brokerage account, right? Your personal brokerage account will pay tax on any interest that you earn, any dividends that you earn, any capital gains that you earned. Your tax advantage accounts like a Roth IRA, traditional IRA, solo 401k, anything like that will have various tax benefits to them. So it'll be different. So you're not, this isn't an apples to apples or an oranges to oranges question. This is the apples to oranges question here. So I think Roth IRAs are great. This year, 2020, you can put up to $6,000 into those accounts. If you're over 50, there's a catch-up provision, meaning the government wants you to save extra money for retirement. So you're going to save $7,000 or an extra $1,000 in 2020 in that year. So you can contribute up to that. So if you have the money and it's in your budget, I would say go for it. Now, one thing I would caution a lot of people too is that if you don't have adequate cash savings, don't do a lot of retirement accounts, because if you ever have an emergency, and your opportunity fund isn't funded enough, right? You will have to pull that money out of those tax advantaged accounts and potentially, not always, but potentially suffer a tax penalty. So be very careful with that. But thank you for that question, Ty. By the way, Ty, are you subscribed to the channel on YouTube? I see you on YouTube. Please subscribe to the channel. And also, folks, make sure y'all hit the little bell button, right? Get the notifications. All of these things matter when trying to game the algorithm, if that's even a thing, right? Trying to get recognized by the algorithm. The algorithm's trying to see, honestly, right? It's very humanistic to a certain degree. Algorithm's trying to see if people really rock with you. That's what it all is. At the end of the day, if people really rock with you, then the algorithm will reflect that. The algorithm will reflect that. All right, so laughing at Barry White. Okay, Kay Lander's laughing. And Kay Lander said she's going to listen to the podcast. Thank you, Kay. Now, let me know what you think. Give me an honest review. Give me an honest rating. All right. So I got homework tonight. Karan gave me homework. Jose gave me homework. And so I'll be working on some of those things. And I'll be looking at that top 5 publicly traded Black businesses. All right. So I'll be definitely getting into those. Listen, this Saturday, we will have our regularly programmed scheduling. This Saturday, the edition or the segment of the Finance Rebel Show we'll be having is Wealthy Conversations. Y'all know we do Wealthy Conversations every Saturday at noon. Haven't figured out what to talk about yet. And I just told Karan maybe we'll talk about the top 5 Black businesses, but I can't do that now because I said I'll make it exclusive. So maybe Jose didn't give me any parameters, right? Jose didn't say I could do it publicly or privately or exclusively. So maybe we'll do the asset class one, because asset classes are very, very interesting. But you are going to need to do some homework, because there's some back episodes where I've talked about some of the building blocks of asset allocation, and I'll put some of them in this comment section once I'm done. But I'll see you all on Saturday, 12 p.m.-ish. Well, I'll be here. All right. I'll see you all then. Everybody have a great night. Thank you all for tuning in and always tuning in. I appreciate that. And I'm truly humbled by that. So everybody have a great night. Thank you so much.